Yo, what's happening, everybody? Hope everybody's surviving the apocalypse, doing well, and that you guys are staying motivated and you're staying staying productive. I know it's not always an easy thing that it's hard for me sometimes. I'll see that social media is a weird thing. I'll see that a lot of my friends are on here and they're just posting stuff. They're being creative. They're being productive. They're being cool, and maybe I'm just not feeling it that day. Some days you're feeling it and some days you're not. So um, I'll say if today's one of those days for you where you're really not feeling it, you're just like, you know what, yeah, I'm sort of bummed out and I'm not feeling like I'm productive. I feel like I'm wasting my quarantine. I feel like I'm just not motivated to do anything today. Well, tell you what, you can motivate yourself to watch this live stream for the next, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour, however long we chat. And that can be your motivation. You can say, listen, I'm going to watch the live stream. I don't have the Rona, I promise. So yeah, so just watch the live stream, hang out. We got a really awesome guest today, and maybe she's going to motivate you. She's always a very hyper caffeinated person. She's very energetic, and I think you're going to dig her a lot. I'm actually going to throw up a video of hers real quick, and you guys will be able to see who the heck I am talking to today. So here goes a quick video. Yeah, that's who we've got. We've got Brigitte OReilly here with us today.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm peachy. I don't. I'm not. I'm never as I. I consider myself a high energy individual, and you always make me feel so lethargic compared to you.
The thing is, that's a popular misconception about Brigitte O'Regan is that I don't actually drink coffee.
I don't
I
either.
am I'm not very caffeinated, and people are like, "Oh wow, it must take like 80 cups of espresso or whatever to get you going." I'm like, "Nah, that old lady stuff. That's tea. Let's go." If that is.
My friend Megan is here. What's up, Megan? Megan's an amazing singer from here in North Carolina, just super, super talented, and she's surviving this apocalypse right now too. It's
Oh my
I know
gosh.
all of her income just completely evaporated. Or you're pretty much in the same situation, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very, very grateful that our government has kind of like stepped up very quickly. Like the federal government has stepped up and been like, okay, listen, if you have lost your job and you do not have employment benefits, so that's like the waiter and waitress industry, like hospitality in general, anyone on a contract, even if you're in the government. I used to be in the government, no benefits, no nothing. But if you lost your job and you can no longer work, then they have kind of like a universal income set up for the next at least 4 months. So it's really, really helped put a bit of a calm attitude throughout the country for people who are like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that would
Uh,
be nice. That would be nice. We don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that some kind of thing will be implemented because I just can't imagine what is going to happen. Like
Yeah.
it's if so many like millions of people can't work because they can't physically go outside and do anything. I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I can't remember ever happening in history before, other than like the Spanish flu.
Yeah, you got to go back
Um,
100 years to find anything like it. And those poor saps didn't have the internet.
yeah, like this is so. I still kind of can't believe. It's not really sunk in yet, even though it's, obviously we're all affected all around the world. It's just such a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also really interesting to see that we're all in this together, no matter who you are, no matter where you live, unless you're in like the smallest like Amish community and you're just so isolated. Everyone's susceptible no matter what. So it's really interesting to see that societal factor. I have a degree in communications and media, so it's like, oh, this is fascinating at the same time terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Akiva, is this better? I turned myself up a little bit. I got my sound engineers out here checking up on me. Akiva's he's helping me out, man. So
Nice.
I don't know if you know Akiva Wax. He's in generally lives in Israel, but I think he's hanging out in Chicago for the moment. So
That's
amazing
excellent.
Viper player, 7-string Viper player. He plays bass backwards. He plays left-handed. I can't even pantomime left-handed.
Oh, oh no.
Yeah, right.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know.
Wow.
So yeah, Brigitte is a Viper player, but where she got famous, and Brigitte did get famous, it happened kind of all of a sudden, right?
It's weird to, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I still live in a basement apartment, so I don't feel famous because I don't see the sun.
Well,
I'm
famous and
like,
rich are two different things, unfortunately.
you know what? Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I'm going to play a video real quick for people to see how you got famous. I don't think you're going to be able to see this where you are, but this is the very first video that I think just took off for you and got like a couple million views.
Yeah.
Here it goes.
Today we're going to be going to Fan Expo and we're going to be surprising some cosplayers with their themes. Let's go.
All right, we're back. So you guys got to see that just a few seconds of the video that Bridget did. That was her very first, I think, surprising people at cosplay. Tell me how that whole idea came and landed.
Yeah, I went to like way, way, way back. I went to an arts high school. So like we did Halloween like it was no one's business. So I would, dress up and have fun and everything. And then I would go down to the cafeteria and start playing people's songs for them because, I have my violin with me because I had music class next. I'm going to play to this Tetris piece. I'm going to play to, just having a good old dandy time. So I just did it for fun, like for laughs and everything. Just like, oh, me and my friends just derping around. And then I never got the chance to go to a comic convention. I always wanted to go, but I just never had a weekend free because I was either working to get money to go to school or working to just maybe move out one day, or just, when I came to Toronto, I was like, okay, I'm still working. And then the second year, 2016, I got like a day off. I got a Friday off, and I was like, cool, you know what? I'm going to put on my Harley Quinn outfit from like high school, back when she was still like a character that no one really knew about. So it's like a t-shirt dress and like leggings and a hat. Like, cool, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to busk around the entrance or the exit to it. So people are coming out with their kids, and I'll be like, hey, wow, Elsa, can I play a song for you? They'll be like, wow, Mom, give her $20. So, it was a pretty sweet deal, busking outside of there. And I eventually got enough money to go in the next day on Saturday. And, I brought a friend along with me, and she filmed, and we were just having a good old dandy time. And then I put it on the internet, and I expected maybe like 5 of my friends to be like, oh, that's really funny. I remember you doing that from high school. And it just kind of exploded.
Yeah. Like how many subscribers did you have when you first did that?
Oh man, definitely under 10,000. Geez. I'm gonna say like 6,000?
Because you were posting some pretty cool videos before that.
Yeah, I was posting more to try and be fancy and kind of like show my range for new clients, since I'd moved to Toronto and was like, gotta keep up with all the fancy folk. They're like, oh, you're from Ottawa. Do you even know how to do anything? I'm like, yeah, I promise.
We have electricity and everything.
Yeah, we do. I'm from the country. The Walmart's 10 minutes that way. Cows are 10 minutes that way. What's a Shangri-La? What's a Four Seasons hotel? What? But yeah, I just kind of started my YouTube channel in like high school, just to put out some silly videos, and then kept going. And it seems like the videos that I like doing the most are also coincidentally the ones that people like seeing the most. So that's a very nice coincidence.
Yeah, the video that we just watched got over 1 million views, right?
In like the first month, yeah, it was nuts.
I remember that happening. I remember you hitting like 10,000 subscribers, and then now you're like 150 or something, huh? You just got
I got it. Oh, there we go. There's you.
Hey, look at me.
Whoa.
So that's what, 100,000 subscribers?
Yeah, 100,000 in November.
Yeah, and you're like you're well on your way to 200,000 now.
Yeah, it's at 1,300. Yeah, 136,000, I think.
That's crazy.
It's absolutely wild. And I still have like that imposter syndrome, since I'm not like, hey guys, what's up? This is my weekly YouTube thing on how to do cool stuff. I'm just like, whenever I have the time, I'll do it here. And then people are like, you're a YouTuber. I'm like, I don't think I am, but I guess I am.
You're totally a YouTuber.
Yeah.
You got the plaque and everything.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's a wild experience, but it's something that I never thought that I would do or have the thing that people would want to see, I guess. Yeah. Like the good thing about it is that I have met such a wonderful community through, cosplay, and getting to like all the money that I make off the videos. I put towards making new videos kind of deal. So my friend Marissa, who comes along with me, I'm like, hey, do you need anything? Like, can I pay you? She's like, no, I have a full-time job. Like, it's good. I'm like, do you need any equipment? She's like, oh, well, it would be nice to have like a new lens. I'm like, okay, done. Like, here is your new lens. Do you like, what do you need? I got you. And then, you know,
and then you find out what a lens costs. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh no.
Like how many zeros in that price?
It's more than $50.
Like we're talking about a piece of glass, right?
Yeah. And then you know, there are just so many incredible cosplayers in our city. So I've been able to you know, get like do commissions from them. I'm like, wow, I really like your stuff. And they're like, thank you. I'm like, can I give you money for helping me with my costume or my cosplay? Because I don't have a sewing machine, but I want to, you know, now that Fan Expo, whoa. Now that Fan Expo and, you know, Comic-Con and all those wonderful people, MegaCon, are, you know, flying me out and making me a guest, I want to kind of look like I'm at a level.
Yeah, you want to send it.
You know, I want to say I appreciate you noticing me, senpai. I now look professional, and I have a glue gun. And what's up?
I've never been a big Comic-Con or costume guy, right? But
yeah,
when you watch these videos, like the amount of time and effort that people put into these costumes is insane.
Oh yeah. Just for my Sailor Jupiter one that wow, that was only a year ago. That's nuts. Oh, yeah. A year ago, I asked a friend of mine, Noel, he cosplays as Sailor Moon, but he is a, like, you know, 6 foot, you know, whatever guy, like big bushy beard. And he's like, yo, what's up? I'm Sailor Moon, bruh. I'm like, wow, your costume is amazing. You know, can I give you money? Can I commission you to help me make a cosplay? And he's like, you know what? I'll do it for a huge big discount if you do it with me and you do all this stuff that I don't want to do, like all the tedious work. I'm like, yeah, cool, yeah, that sounds great. It's February, and it's -40, so no one's having weddings right now. Sure, let's go.
So before this whole Comic-Con thing, and you've had another video that got like over 5 million views.
Yeah,
the same kind of thing, just going through Comic-Cons and ambushing people with the themes.
Yeah.
So you were doing a lot of busking, and then you're doing a lot of like weddings and private parties and that sort of thing too?
Yeah, I'd say 90% of my work comes from events, which are now kaput, which are now not going on anymore, but a good amount also came from the film industry. So, you know, playing along to soundtracks, and they're like, oh, we have this scary movie. We don't really like how the synth violins sound. Can you overdub it? I'm like, yeah, sounds great. But busking has been quite a huge part of my life since I was about 12. It was my first job. I think all musicians should busk at least once, just to have that, I guess, feeling of like, oh, there's no stage, and I have to impress you right now within the first like 3 seconds that you walk by.
Right.
It just really ups your performance game, because you're not just like, oh, here's Wonderwall again. You're like, hey everyone, how's it going? Wow, here's Wonderwall.
I think the ability to engage people like quickly is a critical skill, right? Because people are walking past, and you have, like you said, a couple seconds to grab them, right?
Yeah. What I usually do when I'm busking, just not even cosplay busking, is I will be in the middle of a pedestrian bridge, and I'm a fairly like violin is a very small instrument, so people can, like, you know, walk up and down. You're not blocking traffic. But if someone makes eye contact with me, then I'll say, hey, can I play your favorite song? And they'll be like, whoa, wait, what? okay, so it kind of intrigues them. They're like, okay, well, how do you know what my favorite song is? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. What's your favorite band? And then I'm hoping that I'll know it. And if I don't, I'll be like, oh, cool. So it's in that genre. Oh, well, you know what? That's a good one. I will learn that especially for you next time. But, what about this? Like, this exact same genre or the same band, or, oh, I don't know that song by this artist, but I know this song. They'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. So it's kind of like a conversation starter.
Right. But you have to know an insane amount of music.
Yes.
And a lot of these aren't things like you play by ear, obviously. These aren't things like you're sitting around practicing the theme song from Cheers, right? But you're like, okay, let me see if I can pull that out of, okay, let me try it.
Yeah. For 99% of music that I play, I've never seen sheet music before. So
and probably never played that tune before, right? And all of a sudden you got to do it in front of somebody.
Yeah, so most of the Comic-Con videos, unless it's like Pokemon or, Star Wars, I probably have never played that song because it would be so difficult to try and think of the like thousands of people and characters you're going to run into. Like, of course, I do a bit of research. I will research like what are the coolest top shows or anime or video games that are coming out, and I'll kind of see that. Or if I see someone, I'll ask someone around me or my friend Marissa or our friend Evan who comes along with us. I'll be like, who's that person? I really like their costume. I really love their cosplay. I'm just gonna learn it right now, so I'll just whip out my phone, type in their thing, and just just hold it to my ear and be like, okay, cool, yeah. And then I'll go up to them, and my friend Marissa with the camera will be like, hey, can I take a video of you for 1 second? Like, you can just do anything you want. And they'll be like, oh, okay, sure. And then I jump in, and I'm like, bleh. And they're like, oh, okay, oh, that's what you're doing. Or they'll be like, can you just leave me alone? I'm like, that's fair. Okay. Sorry.
So like, how many of those do you get versus people that are totally into it? If you film 10 random people, how many people are like, can you go away now?
At first, when I first started doing it, it was kind of like 30% of people were like, but I guess since I've gotten better at kind of figuring out which people are like down to, it's like people who are already like posing for the camera and doing stuff, I'm like, okay, those people might be a bit like more excited about it. Yeah.
So you're getting better at picking them.
Yeah, it is a process and a half. And now it's a bit less surprising people because half of the people that we run into already know about me because the cosplay community is so small. Because
you're famous.
Maybe.
It's always a weird thing for people to go like, so are you well known in your business? And you go, it sounds really funny for me to say this. It's not that big a community. Yes, a lot of people in the community know who I am.
Yeah, like I was texting. I'm part of this like group of like electric violin players from like all around, and every time someone posts, it's like a post engagement group. So someone's like, "Hey, I just posted." We're like, "Okay, cool." So like all 10 of us go and like that thing and make sure to comment as fast as we can, just to make sure that person's like thing gets bumped up through the algorithm. And I'm like, yeah, I'm having a chat with Matt Bell tomorrow. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, totally amazing. He is the one who I met at NAMM last year or 10 years ago. Or, he's physically sold me my Viper, like, Ariella. She's like, oh, yeah, I got my Viper directly from him. It was,
That Viper, actually, it's funny. That was she bought that from me. She didn't buy that from the shop. She bought that from me.
Really? That's amazing.
So it was my battle axe for a while, and then it became my backup because I bought another one because I always have several. And And so that one, I took my tattoo guy, and the guy that does all my tattoos, he painted a devil on there for like the Devil Went Down to Georgia thing. And so it was basically an art piece. Well, then, because I was only playing 5 strings for a long time, because I'm in a band with 2 guitar players and a bass player, and like, if I have too many strings, somebody's just going to start throwing stuff at me. Yeah. So then I decided I'm going to do this solo thing, and it's going to be violin, bass, and drums. So I need a 6th string. So I went and bought a 6-string Viper, and then I've got 2 5s sitting here. Like, I don't need 2 5s. So, and I didn't want to sell the Emerald Quilt that I have. The Emerald Quilt Viper that I have was the very first Emerald Quilt that Wood Violins made. Ooh. When they made that violin, they went, that thing is so amazing, this has to be a series. So they started making more of those. Well, I just happened to buy the first one. So I'm not going to get rid of the Emerald Quilt.
Yeah.
And so, like, well, I guess I got to get rid of the Devil Viper. And I really didn't want to, because Jonas did a great job of painting it. But I was like, well, I got to let it go. So, well, OReilly does a lot of work in, like, the Orthodox Jewish community. So, like, the devil isn't going to get it, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I mean, you're offering me a great price on this violin, but it's got a devil on it. I'm like, it's a piece of wood. Just paint it.
Yeah.
She's like, I can paint it. I'm like, well, that's what my guy did. He just painted it.
Yeah.
So we actually shipped it to her in pieces. And her artist did an insanely good job on that.
It looks so beautiful.
It is so. She sent me pictures like before it was even put back together, and I was like, I love that. I might want it back.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you're not getting it.
It's like a pastel galaxy.
So yeah, her Viper was actually under. I don't know if her artist took the paint off or if there's a devil underneath there. Might be something. So yeah, Akiva was like, I think I have the first left-handed one. That's very possible. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's possible that he's got the first left-handed one.
That's super cool.
Hey, Ernesto Lago's here. He's another Viper guy.
Hey, nice.
Ernesto's in Nashville. I just got to hang out with him in Anaheim, California, like 2 months ago when life was normal.
Oh my gosh. Remember the good old days.
Goodness. Ernesto and I we've got a video coming out soon. We're working on a violin cover video that hopefully you guys are going to dig.
Yes.
Jim Moody, what's up, man? Glad you're here.
I've gotten to see a lot more of Ernesto's videos because he's in the engagement, posting group, and everything he posts is just... Oh, man, it just blows my socks off. It's so rock and roll.
Dude, his video game is strong, too, man.
Yeah.
Ernesto's he's got the high-dollar cameras, and he's got the little vibrating logo sitting on there. One of these days, he's going to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the things you were talking about before I came on. You were talking about this huge, big pressure to be like, okay, I have to use this global pandemic where I'm stuck inside to better myself in, such a way. And there's this huge pressure to just come out of this and be like the most fit, intelligent, like 6-pack shredding person ever. Cause it's like, well, what have you been doing with all your free time? And like
bonbons.
And like in the first week during March break, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be so productive. And then the second week hit and like reality was like, oh man, like, I was going to bed at like 6 a.m., waking up at like 3 p.m. I was like, wow, I guess I could just sleep for a month. Time wouldn't matter. Oh man, this is so depressing. And then 2 days ago, I signed up for Skillshare and I've been learning. Like, again, not a lot, not like how to be the best to whatever. It's just, I'm just learning basic new skills because I see Ernesto's logo. I'm like, that's really cool. And it's just like little things, that are super cool, like Ariella's videos and Amy Serrano Burke's videos. I'm like, wow, like that's beautiful, like the color grading in that is okay, you know what? I'm going to figure out how to color grade because I used to know how to do all these things from my 4 years in high school in film and my 4 years in high school in university in communications. But of course, once that's all over, you're like, okay,
Right.
gotta look for a real job now. But now that, you need 20 people's worth of jobs just to be a musician nowadays. Right. It's like, okay, let's like tweak one skill per day, not learn something crazy new, just tweak everything once a day, learn like a tiny thing every single day, get 1% better. And yeah.
So what was your degree in? You said communications, right?
Yeah, communications.
So you're not a music school person either.
I would have loved to go, but the town that I grew up in was very kind of like the community. Their noses were a bit higher. They're like, oh, your violin is $2,000. Oh, that's really nice for a beginner. But if you want to get into the university, you should really look into investing in at least a $10,000 model. And I'm like, okay, well, what if I don't have that money when I'm 17? They're like, well, can't your parents just do it? I'm like,
yeah.
No. And they're like, well, I guess you'll have to look elsewhere.
Like, why don't you just teach me how to play the one I got?
There was so much pushback from even like professionals, like teachers from me. Like I was, practicing like the Pink Panther one day. I remember in grade 9, and my music teacher came in and yelled at me for wasting a practice space. I'm like, well, I'm learning syncopation. He's like, oh, get that crap out of here. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the gatekeeping is real.
So I just didn't want to be part of that kind of community. And I do know quite a few friends who did go into it, but after they came out, they just felt kind of like boxed in because they had only been taught, these skills, nothing but these skills, okay, go. And there are so many incredible musicians now and not enough jobs to suit those specific skills.
Right.
So, yeah, luckily they're all very good teachers and they love teaching. I have 1% patience for teaching. Yeah. Do you teach?
I do. My mom is a music teacher, a retired music teacher in the public schools. And I always I think part of like against how you grew up, I was like, no, man, there's no way I'm ever going to, I'm not teaching. I'm not going to teach. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
And I sort of discovered teaching just a few years ago and how much I really like it.
Yeah.
And so the thing is though, I don't take beginners. Like I'm not going to teach you how to play. I will teach you what to play. So most of my students are already advanced level players that they read sheet music and they do all that, but they don't know how to improvise. A lot of them are electric players that are really trying to get their tone nailed down, or they're trying to figure out how do I fit into a rock band setting where, I'm asked to play in a worship band or I'm asked to play in a country band or, whatever. Well, how do I know what to play? So this is all stuff I've been making a living at for 20 years. So I'm teaching things that I know and that I'm passionate about. As far as like technique and how to get your right hand to do this thing, I got no interest in teaching that. But I'm passionate about, getting cool tones and how to layer violin into an arrangement that maybe didn't have any violin in it. So I teach that stuff. And if I had known 10 years ago that teaching would make me a better player, I probably would have started teaching sooner.
Yeah, that's very fair. My mom is a teacher, a violin teacher, and all my life from 7 a.m. until, because she has like really early kids in the morning and then other kids at night. She teaches starting from like 3 years old. And I tried because, you know, I've heard her teach all my life. Okay, now we're going to do Twinkle Twinkle, da-da-da-da, stop, stop, da-da, you know, like, oh, Mississippi hot dog, and she's really good at that.
And thank God there are people like that.
I tried teaching, like, I think it was 5 students. I had 5 students in 6 months, and the amount of, Miss, you're not a very good teacher because I don't know Justin Bieber yet. And I'm like, you're 5. I don't care about you and the things that you want, because you haven't learned to play on one string without somehow hitting all of the strings, even though that shouldn't even be possible.
I can't even do that. How are you doing that?
I don't. I don't care. And the thing is, like, my boyfriend is teaching in that room right now. He's teaching drums, bass, guitar, and piano. And he gets so excited to teach. He genuinely, like, spends his off time, like, you know, like, making charts. And he's like, yeah, I'm really excited because, like, Timmy is really getting this. So I'm going to do something special for him. And I'm going to rearrange a chart as one of his favorite songs. And he's going to be so excited. And I'm like, yeah, totally. He's like 10 or something. He's like, yeah, I'm really proud of him. I'm like, okay.
Look who's here. Oriella's here. We were just talking about you.
Hey, what's up, girl? Oh my God, she says.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we got to get you in on one of these chats too, Oriella, from Israel. I was supposed to fly to Israel tomorrow, and obviously not going to happen. We're gonna hang out at she was over at my house on Halloween, and I was gonna go to her house, and we were gonna have some barbecue or whatever they do on Sundays in Israel, and I didn't even know what y'all eat, but I was gonna eat it. Because if you put food in front of me, I am going to eat it.
You might have been there in time for Passover.
We were actually going to be there between Palm Sunday and Easter.
Oh, man.
And, yeah. Thanks a lot, Corona.
Yeah. My Corona. Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
The amount of dark humor that has come out of this is really... On one hand, I'm like, oh, but... on the other end, I'm like, makes me laugh.
So tell people about some of the skills that you've had to learn as a musician, like that totally would not have been covered in music school. You're talking about film and marketing and booking and promotions and all that.
Absolutely. Let's see. For one, the amount of people, this isn't even a skill, it's just the amount of people that don't have one professional video of them just against a blank wall playing anything astounds me. Since moving to Toronto, I've kind of like put myself into different facets in music. I'm helping, commercials and casting agents find proper musicians so that you don't have those like actors just pretending. It's like, okay, yeah. It's like, okay, who do you need? I can get you, almost any musician of any race, gender, ethnicity. Like, what do you need? I will help you find them. So I did a casting call one time. We needed 10 violin players. Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter what age, whatever. I'm like, okay, hey everyone, this is an open call. If you play the violin, send me a headshot of you and your violin. If you don't have a headshot, that's fine. Take a selfie right now of you holding your violin. Just take a selfie and I can give you $900. Yeah. And so I'm like, because, the commercial is like a full day. It's $900. You are going to be in the background of a commercial. Just hold your instrument, take a selfie, and send it to me, and I will put you on a list as good if you are good for that whole entire day. And the amount of people who came back to me saying, oh, I don't have a professional headshot. I'm like, that's totally fine. Just send me a selfie of you holding your instrument. if I can show the casting director that you can hold your instrument in a way that looks professional, which it will because you are a professional, you will get $900 for sending me a selfie of you. They're like, oh, well, just give me a minute. And they would take like 3 days to get back to me. And of course, in that time, I had already gotten my 10 people. They're like, oh, why didn't you wait? I'm like, you have to, like, first come, first serve.
Yeah. Like, the industry doesn't wait on you. You wait on the industry.
And there was one person who, it's just kind of like management as well is a good thing. There was one person in that one instance who was like, oh yeah, no, I'm free the whole entire day. I just have like a really quick 15 minutes performance in the middle of it. So I just got to duck out and come back. I'm like, no, there's no ducking out. Like, we are not the most important, we are less than the most important people there. So if they say jump at 3:30, you got to jump at 3:30. If that's the only thing you're doing, then great. But on the day of, we don't know what's going on until we suddenly need to be there. You need to be available the whole day.
And honestly, you're going to sit here all day doing this.
Yeah.
And then about the time that you're like sticking a cupcake in your mouth, they're going to be like, okay, we need you.
Yeah. And like, the thing is, I get that mentality because it's like, well, I only have a 50-minute performance. It's like, well, yeah, you know. But if you've never been in that kind of setting, I totally understand the person's mentality. It's just like,
yeah, you're probably gonna have to get a sub for either that gig or this one. So pick one.
Yeah. So just the fact that you need to jump on opportunities and say yes. Like, when I first came to Toronto. Toronto has changed my life so much, changed my music so much, because I used to do like lots of bar gigs, and you know, I got those through ear training, which is something that we didn't really learn in school all that much, but ear training has got me 99% of my work easy. I sweat when I see sheet music. I'm like, oh, you want me to do what?
Dots and lines.
So like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So when I sorry, I just lost my train of thought. 2 seconds.
I don't have a beer up here. I usually have a beer. I don't have a beer.
So just the skills to say yes to something, which can be very scary, to say yes and then say, you know what, I've never done this kind of music before, I've never done this style, but I will do my best. And just to tell people that and just have them make a decision through that. I have learned Bollywood music just through, you know, someone in that community saying, you know, I need a sub for this gig. Can you do it? And I'm like, I will be honest, I've never played this style of music before. I've never played, you know, Southern Carnatic music, Tamil music. I've never played, you know, like Persian music before. I've never played Iranian music before, but I would be happy to play it for you if you do not find anyone else who is kind of better suited to it. And they're like, yeah, no, you know, no one else is available, so we're willing to take a chance on you. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. You know, let's learn a whole new style.
Right.
And I find that the more styles that you learn, the more, you know, this style kind of has the same thing as this style. Kind of, if you learn hip hop, you're going to get better at fiddle, because, you know, they have those like Scotch, I think it's like Scotch stops, like da 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 da, that are kind of popular these days. Yeah. That rhythm will make you better in your Scottish fiddling, or, you know, Bollywood rhythms will make you better in your Irish fiddling, or, you know, just Celtic music in general. So it's just these things that you have to take from one and be like, oh, okay, like, can I connect the dots? So yeah, it's really fascinating.
You may know this person. You know James O'Regan?
Oh, I do.
Lifelong learning is good, I'm told.
Lifelong learning. Oh, Dad, I love your mask. Wow. Super fashion.
Thought you guys might be related.
Yeah. You can tell by the.
That's right, yeah.
You can tell by the eyes. But
yeah, that's a Christian House thing. I don't know if you know Christian, but his thing is just say yes and then figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be in the room with him for 4 hours for his introduction to improvising lesson. And I didn't have time. The rest of the week I had weddings, but he luckily had a Friday class that was kind of like introduction, and I was like, I don't know if I need like an introduction because I'm already like doing it for a living. And a friend of mine, Victoria, yeah, you most definitely know her because she's a Viper player. Yep. She's like, I promise you, it is worth the time, the money, just to go see him play for 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, I will trust you. Done. And I came out of the class just so excited and just like full of knowledge that I didn't have before. It's still like the same kind of concept, like do improvising, but now I can explain it better, and I know why I'm doing the things that I do, right. And I have exercises to practice it now, and it was so cool.
Rob Flax is here. Speaking of improvisers, what's up, Rob Flax?
Hey, oh my goodness, yes! He's also in our dandy old chat group.
Awesome.
Man, yeah.
All the cool people are here.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, there's just so I could do an hour-long list of things that musicians do not learn in music school that are good in the real life. Like, one big thing is learning to introduce yourself on stage. Like the whole microphone public speaking thing, like, hi guys, this is a song I'm gonna do, because you don't do that in classical music. You just go up and everyone's like, oh, it says in the program that we're going to be treated to Bach's prelude on the third movement, haha. But you go up and you're like, hi, how's everyone doing so far? Good. Okay. This is Pierre on the bass over here. I mean, wait, not Pierre. This is Jim on. Oh wait, what's my band's names again? Where am I? What is this? Oh man. Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Just basic concepts and facts just fly out of your brain as soon as you get a microphone in front of your hands.
It's crazy, man. When you step up to a mic and they turn the lights on, your IQ drops 100 points. I don't know what it is. And, sometimes we don't have enough. If my IQ drops 100 points, I'm not left with a lot.
Yeah. Ooh, there goes my last brain cell.
Not a big cushion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think social media is also a huge, big thing. In Humber, where my boyfriend went, they had a class called, music marketing. And the thing is, I went to school for marketing, so I have no problem with it. But he didn't complete the class where he had to make like 5 posts within a month on like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And they gave prompts, and it's as hard for him to do social media as it is for me to do arranging and transcribing. I gave him like 45 minutes worth of songs, and I'm like, hey, can I pay you money to like transcribe these 4 songs into a rock band setting? And he was like, oh yeah, done. And within 2 days it had been done. That would have taken me months. Yeah. So I guess the other thing is, like, even if you're not good at something, you got to find people who are good at those things and like trade off skills.
Yeah.
kind of deal. No one's good at everything. Like I have let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I have a bunch of cello bat charts. I don't know if you know her, cello bat. She's incredible.
Yes. Yeah, I do follow her.
Oh my gosh, like she's just rocking it in Vegas every single day, making these like incredible charts by night. She's like a superhero. I don't know how she does it all, but yeah, you just got to find people who are good at different things and go for
Joe
it.
D does that. Joe Denizon is one of those guys that could just knock out a chart in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Rob
Like,
Flax just said, he goes, my friends asked me if I would stop singing Wonderwall. I said maybe. Rob. Boom.
you know what? You should stop singing Wonderwall as soon as people stop paying you. And I have never seen.
Oh my goodness.
I've never seen people not pay for Wonderwall. So like.
You know Jared Burnett and Patrick Contreras. Both of those guys. You know, Patrick has said, you know, I'll stop playing Despacito when people stop paying me to play Despacito. And I think Jared was talking about one of the tunes that he does that somebody's like, oh, you're playing that? He goes, I'll tell you what, I'll stop playing that when people stop filming me every single time I do.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, I'm out here playing. My job is A, to get paid, and B, to get noticed. So I'm getting paid either way.
Yeah.
But when I play that song, 50 cell phone cameras come out and they're all posting me and tagging me. So Ariella, you got so much to do you can't listen. I'm so sad. But thanks for tuning in. And we got to get our kids to talk. We got to, Ariella, we got to get our kids on FaceTime or something with each other. Maybe they'll teach each other how to. Never mind. Maybe we shouldn't.
We'll have a big old family jam.
My goodness. Yeah. So Ariella was over here. You know, she grew up in the U.S. and then moved to Israel. But when she was living here in the U.S., like Halloween in the culture she was living in wasn't like a thing. And it's not really a thing in Israel. So when she came here, she was at our house for Halloween and had never been trick-or-treating. So we took her trick-or-treating.
Amazing.
And she's like filming. So Ariella's like you. She's just like bing, bing, bing all the time. And she's like filming stuff and like she's so into it. And you know, I'm over it. I'm over the whole Halloween thing. Like if I want candy, I'll just go buy candy, right? I don't need to walk 3 miles and knock on 52 doors to get a little mini Nestle Crunch.
Yeah.
But Ariella was like so into it. And like her kids are like, Mom, you seriously went trick-or-treating without us? Like seriously, you went trick-or-treating without us? She's like, yep, sure did.
Yup. And I didn't bring back any candy.
She actually brought us a bunch of candy because
Really?
they get candy in Israel that we obviously don't get here.
Right.
So she was like
that's
bringing us
so
all this
nice.
cool Israeli candy, and it was like it's the bomb.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah. Here's, but also Heidi, my wife. My wife is like the coolest person ever. Like my friends will talk to me. Yeah, you're all right, but is your wife home? We'll hang out with her.
Oh my goodness. Does
So-
she play anything?
No.
She plays different kind of instruments, the medical instruments.
Yeah, I say she's a gynecologist. It's a whole. She plays a different instrument entirely.
Woo!
That conversation just took a turn. Yeah, dinner conversation at our house. Could yeah.
Your son's like, Mom, like, don't talk about work. I'm trying to eat. Gross.
Yeah, absolutely. My daughter just turned 9 yesterday, so she had to have a quarantine birthday.
Oh no.
So my wife is the holiday person. So, you know, there were signs up in the yard and she arranged, she went on and on Facebook and was asking all our friends here in town, like, hey, can you come by? And they, because Easter's coming up and there won't be any Easter here either. So they had like the Easter eggs and they put Easter eggs in the yard. And it was like, there, like people would pull up and we'd maintain social distance, right? Like they'd get out and like set a cake down and walk away. And then they'd, They're like, hey, go get an Easter egg. So they get an Easter. So it's like we're trying to celebrate a birthday, but everybody's staying like 30 feet away from each other in case somebody sneezes, you know?
That's fair. Oh, that's super cute, though.
Yeah, I mean, my son's an introvert. So he's like, yeah, this social distancing thing, I could live with this. This is good. Let's just keep this.
He's like, as long as I can go to the bike park and do backflips, I'm good.
Right. Well, the bike parks are all closed, so he's all bummed out. So, my daughter's an extrovert, and she's like, she's crushed. Like, she can't have 40 people over to the house.
I dig it. The two main things, other than, the whole sickness thing about staying indoors that bums me out the most, is that, one, I can't be in crowds. Because that's like my favorite thing. I'm like, wow, amazing. Two, I can't go outside and pet people's dogs.
Yeah, dogs can't get it. You're good.
Yeah, but like, you can't go up to someone and be like, hi, can I pet your dog? And usually they'd be like, of course, this is Stacy and she doesn't bite. But now it's like, no, just stop looking at me. Yeah. Stacy, sicker.
So the thing that I'm sort of, I guess maybe I wouldn't say worried about, because it doesn't do me any good to worry about it. But the thing that sort of thinking about is like, how fast do crowds come back after this, right? If they tell us, okay, it's gone. It's, we've decided to lift all the stay-at-home orders. Like, are we going to see 50,000 people crammed into a convention center anytime soon?
I think it's more going to be kind of, how they kind of like toned it down. They're like, okay, keep it to 100 people. Okay, now keep it to 50 people. Okay, now keep it to 10 people. Keep it to 5 people. I think it's going to be kind of a gradual thing like that. We're going to have, because it's the 2-week rule. If you are in a crowd and then you quarantine for 2 weeks, what's the rate of spread? So I think they might just, I don't know, do the reverse.
Yeah, who knows? Kind
of deal. I don't think
the problem is like you don't get paid and I don't get paid for 15 people in a room.
No.
I don't get paid when there's 100 people in a room. It's more like 1,000 is where the money starts coming.
Yeah, but then again, there are a lot of places, like what I'm hoping for is that all the things that have been canceled will kind of like, be postponed, not canceled until next year. So they'll be postponed to a later date or something. They'll be kind of like a big boom. Like I'm having actually a lot of bookings in August, September, and October on Wednesdays and Thursdays for weddings, because all the Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, they're all gone already. But people still want to have their wedding this year, so that's one positive possibility.
Yeah, maybe 2021 is you're gonna end up doing like 140 weddings.
Hopefully, yeah. But it's so hard to tell. Are you doing any like online classes right now? How's that working out?
I haven't been doing a lot. So I'm doing a lot of this kind of thing. Yeah. Kind of hoping to let's just keep people, since we're all sitting on Facebook all day now, let's just provide some interesting content and, maybe introduce some people to artists that they don't know, or artists that they do know. Hey, let's get a little deeper dive into these people. My wife's job is, she's a physician and a pharmacist by training. And so she's working for a pharmaceutical company that treats some lung diseases. So COVID attacks the lungs. Right now, it looks like her job is fairly secure.
That's good.
So that's muy fino. And so honestly, I could do some teaching of lessons and all that, but I have a lot of friends who've lost their entire income. So because there's a finite pool of people who are willing to pay for lessons, and there's a finite pool of people that are willing to throw out tips on live stream concerts, I'm not going after any of that. Because I'd rather sort of leave that for people who like their income went to zero. Yeah. I'm definitely feeling it. But we're feeling it less than some of my friends are. So, I guess like the socially responsible thing to do is to say, if people hit me up for lessons, I'm like, well, let me give you a list of my buddies who are teaching lessons, who need the money more than I do.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do
awesome.
that. And when I see people playing on Facebook, I'm trying to throw a couple bucks here and there.
Yeah. Like, I did my taxes super early this year.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, as soon as there was some kind of inkling of, like, oh no, a show or two might get canceled, I'm like, oh, okay, I better do my taxes now so that, by the time, that starts to hit, I can at least have some kind of thing, thing.
Yeah, assuming there's a refund coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm still under that kind of level to where I would, like, I thought this year, I'm like, okay, this might be the first year that I've made enough that I will be taxed, but I'm just under that thing, so I'm getting something back.
So yeah, Canadian taxes. I think, when are y'all's taxes due?
It's been pushed to June is when they're due, and if you owe anything, it's been pushed to September to pay back.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, ours are generally April 15th is tax day in the U.S., and I think they pushed that back. I filed in like February, but
yeah, me too.
I think they pushed that back, and they're talking about rent deferral and all that sort of thing here. And obviously, we get some little measly $1,200, assuming you didn't have a good year last year. And I guess $1,200 is supposed to last us 5 or 6 months. I think the Canadian government was a little more generous, like a lot more generous.
I mean, we have less people as well.
Well, and you got fewer big corporations to bail out.
Yeah, we have less people. I think we have the good and bad thing is that we have so few big cities.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of deal. We have a lot more like smaller communities where it's like, okay, everyone stay inside. Like, all the shops are still open because they're all kind of necessary shops. You have Bill and Steve's like butcher shop down the street instead of like a huge big Metro or something. Or is Metro a thing in the U.S.?
Not in North Carolina.
Like a grocery store, a Walgreens, I think it's called. I've seen in myth and legend.
Yeah.
So I think the good thing is that we have a lot less people over a big span of place. So that's probably the reason that we're getting hit a lot less. Plus, it is still quite cold here, so it's like minus whatever. So people haven't really been going out a lot.
Is minus something up there?
Yeah. Let's see. Let me check exactly what the temperature is. Where's my phone?
You guys are using the C degrees. We're using F degrees.
Let's see.
We got a bunch of effing degrees around here.
Celsius to Fahrenheit. We usually get like minus 40. What's minus 40 in Celsius?
It's the same. Minus 40 is the same.
Yeah, we usually get about minus 40 in Ottawa, and like the prairies, but it's been kind of like minus 1 degree usually here, so that's 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's like kind of the average temperature we've been working with in the past few weeks. So like, no one's really excited to go outside anyways.
Yeah. See, Rob, he knows. I was an engineering major, so I know they line up at minus 40. He knows.
Yeah.
And so what are we today? I'm trying to see if my thing has it in F and C. It doesn't. It's cold. It's 55 degrees here today, which is cold for me. Like that's cold.
55 degrees. I'm going to say that's like 10.
It's got to be like a dozen or so.
55. Oh man, 50. If it was 55 here, I would be out in shorts and a t-shirt. That would be some good weather right there.
See, I measure temperature in degrees below 80.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. In the winter, when it turns anything under, or like, in the fall it turns 12, everyone's like, oh, get your big jackets on. But then once you go from -30 to 12, everyone's like, man, okay, let's start sunbathing.
Yeah, I grew up in Michigan, and I left for a reason.
That's very fair.
I don't like being cold. I can't play. Because you play outside a lot.
Yeah.
And like my fingers are like.
Yeah. Here. Let me get something. I'll show you.
Hey, while we're doing that, I'm gonna play the video.
This.
Oh yeah, show me. What are those finger mittens?
This is my secret weapon that I found out from my very good friend Chantal Dubé. She's a harp player.
Finger mittens?
So you have these things, and you put their little rings, and you put them on your finger, and then you just kind of rub your hands back and forth, and then they get like the blood circulating to like the extremities, so that you're no longer like pressing down and your fingers hurt because it's so cold. Within like 5 minutes of doing this on each finger, your fingers are like warmed up. They are so fast. They are ready to go. So that's kind of my Canadian tip. And like a pack of these, like on Amazon, are like $2 because they're just copper
somewhere
wire.
Warmer.
No, that's expensive, and I don't like bigger spiders.
Chucky has said it's 17C 62F in Casablanca now, because clearly he would be in Casablanca.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy Reiner's here. He's like, yes, I love those rings. You know Andy? He's the skiing fiddler.
Oh my gosh.
And then he said, do you also have the full wrist one?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, well, see, we're trading information here.
Let's see, for the full wrist one, I'll just get like a... It's a bit harder to do.
Yeah, Andy plays his fiddle while he's downhill skiing.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, I can't. I wasn't allowed to go downhill skiing because my mom would have like half her studio come in crutches every winter, and then she's like, what have you been doing? It's like, snowboarding, downhill skiing. So she's like, cool, Brigitte, you're going cross country skiing with me. Nice and flat.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap you in bubble wrap. And yeah, my son is a BMX rider, and people always ask me, did you ride too? I'm like, no man, I was a musician. My parents wouldn't let me. There's no way my parents would have let me jump a bike 12 or 13 feet in the air. No way.
Nope.
No, you might hurt yourself, and then you couldn't play the violin.
Then your music lessons, you wouldn't be able to go to summer camp that we already paid for. Which is funny
because I didn't do any of that stuff, and I have broken like most of my bones. And my son is a BMX rider, has been half of his life. He's had one broken arm. That's it.
Wait, how did you break your bones?
Well, I just played rough. My mom wasn't in charge of everything.
Oh. Whoa. So you'd be like out on the street just like, okay, let's dance.
Yeah, just everything. And then I did martial arts and stuff later after after mom couldn't tell me what to do anymore. Pete Hartley's here. He fell off his bike tonight because you're overseas somewhere, right? I'm remember you're in the UK maybe, Pete? Remind me where you are tonight, because it's mid-afternoon here. It's always weird to try to remember where everybody is. Yeah, and Chucky's Canadian too, but he's in Casablanca now.
Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Fall off your bike tonight. Pete, UK, that's right. Yeah, my son and I went mountain biking today. That was good. That's good fun, trying to hit any trees.
I hope you feel better soon, Pete.
Yeah, feel better soon. Don't jack up your arm so you can't play.
Yeah.
I did hit a tree mountain biking a couple years ago. Like, hit it hard. Caught a tree like right here in my collarbone, and I cannot believe I didn't break my collarbone. I hit it hard enough. I'm clipped in on the pedals, and I hit it hard enough that it blasted my feet out of the pedals, and the bike landed like 6 feet downhill. And I was still able to play, but it was on my right side, and bow arm like going up to some of the low strings was. I paid for that for a little while, but I was lucky I didn't it didn't put me out of work.
Yeah, like either way, if you damage your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your like elbows, like right now, the kind of silver lining to all this forced rest is that I did a stupid thing, which they don't teach you in music school, I don't think. But they don't teach you about basic stretching. Just like do this, uh, you know, they don't teach you a stretching regime like they would if you were any kind of other performer or like person who uses their body or is very physical. So,
yeah, I don't think, you know, it's, I've been a gym rat since I was a kid. So I've always been fairly physically fit, and I have not had the kind of injuries that a lot of other people have had.
That's really good.
In fact, speaking of all those injuries, that's one of the reasons that you got the Viper, right?
Yeah, I was in a really like what I thought was like a really like not serious car accident. It was just kind of like a bumper to bumper kind of deal. Like they were still going, we were stopped, and so like my neck did that, and then I turned around to look at what happened, and then they hit us again. So my neck kind of like snapped at this angle, which is the exact angle you need to turn your neck. So like still at the back of like the base of my skull kind of like clicks a bit when I turn my neck.
That's cool.
Yeah, you know, it's not the best, but you know, I'm working on it.
Cool be one word. Yeah.
So with the Viper, it honestly saved my whole entire career, because then I could play without having to hurt myself, go to physiotherapy, go to massage, get a bit better, and then hurt it all over again. So it was just kind of like, okay, I'm ready to go. You know?
Right.
It's great. So it's a really good time for musicians to, I guess, get into a physiotherapy stretch regime, because I got, again, I did a stupid thing, and I played too much in September, October, and November. I did more gigs in November than there were days, and I find myself on the positive side very lucky to have that kind of workflow coming in. On the negative side, I can't say no, especially when I know that January to March is, you know, the kind of dead season, because it's minus
and of
40
course now
out.
It's March through God knows when.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, you know, in November, my elbows started hurting. I was like, oh, this is weird. Okay, well, whatever. It just feels like my funny bone is, you know, must have hit it. And then by the end of November, I couldn't lift things or like use scissors or cut vegetables without it just like really aching. So I went to my physiotherapist. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the thing is. He's like, oh, yes, you have medial epicondylitis. I'm like, I don't speak whatever language that was. He's like, oh, you have a golfer's elbow. What were you doing? I'm like, violin. He's like, that's weird because you have golfer's elbow in both elbows. So what were you doing? I'm like,
Ever seen anybody play the violin? It's a really strange, yeah.
I'm like using both arms too much without stretching properly. He's like, that's right. Okay, let's get you on the table. I'm gonna beat your arm up. You know, that's what you gotta do. You gotta beat your arm up, get all that scar tissue out. So on the one hand, it's more time for me to heal, and you know, injuries like this need time to heal instead of any kind of, you know, surgeries or anything. And I was I was keeping quiet about the injury because I didn't want to come into March and be like, hey everyone, I promise I'm not crappy anymore. You can totally trust me. You know, admitting you have an injury, even though I don't know a single musician without injuries, is kind of like, you know, putting an X over you.
Right. Yeah.
So
no, just I'm good. You book me. I'll be there. We'll make it happen. Yeah.
I promise it will be good. But now it's just kind of like, okay, cool. I can continue with my stretches and do more of them and get better. And, maybe I'll make a video of all the things that I've been doing.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Kaylee Richards, she doesn't play electric violin, but I did a video with her because she's going for a PhD in Baroque violin music. And she is one of the most incredible violinists and just like hard workers I've ever seen. Like, she lives just down the street from me. I see her maybe twice a year because she works like 60-hour days kind of deal, like teaching, doing her thesis, doing like all of her I can't even imagine all the work that goes into it. But she put out a stretching video because, playing Baroque, you don't have a shoulder rest, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm kind of achy, what do I do? And she's like, okay, let's make a video. And even my mom's getting into stretching. I'm like, yeah, go for it, Mom. Teach your students.
Yeah.
Teach them while they're 5 so that they don't have to do physiotherapy once they're in high school.
Right. Yeah, the repetitive strain thing it's real.
Yeah. And like when it happens to, athletes or, anyone who's like really using their body, everyone's like, oh man, yeah, they worked so hard that they got injured. That's so metal. But when it happens to just kind of everyday people, it's like, oh, suck it up. Oh, you're not doing anything. But, you're typing on the computer all the time,
right.
Getting your wrists all crazy, But, yeah, it's another learning thing that they should definitely be teaching in school, at least for one class.
Yeah, that's true. Man, we should do a whole deal on things that they should have taught you in music school but didn't.
Yeah. Man. Oh, that would be like
that'd be a whole nother another 4-year degree.
Absolutely.
How to shoot a video, how to take a headshot, how to show up on time to a gig.
Oh, not even how to show up on time. Just show up an hour before. Show up especially when you're an electric player. I show up at least 45 minutes before I am told to, just to like test everything out, because there have been so many times when I have bring a double of everything.
I own 2 Vipers.
Yeah, I have a like specific bag that is my gig bag, and it always has like I don't take anything out of it unless I'm at a gig. It has like granola bars in case I'm hungry and they aren't feeding me for whatever reason, batteries, battery charger, like a medical kit, extra strings, extra rosin. Like, what have I forgotten at a gig in the last like 12 years of being a professional musician?
Right.
I got it.
Finger warmers?
Absolutely. I got those finger warmers, Oh.
My contract actually says that I will not play if it's below 50 degrees. I will not play.
50 is like 10 degrees?
Yeah, 10 or 12 degrees, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
yeah.
You had a violinist, but now you don't.
Yeah.
Now you got a guy that owns a violin who's standing here like this.
Yeah.
And he still expects to get paid.
I've never played gigs where it was too cold, really, because then the audience doesn't want to be there anyways. Right. And they're like, oh, but I have gotten heat stroke twice, and it was on the same day, 1 year apart. One of it was a wedding that me and my friend who's a piano player, we drove out to the middle of the country, and, we got to the location that it said on Google Maps. We're like, cool, we're here. So
where's here?
So where's here? And we're just like in the car, and we're just like, oh, geez, okay. And this guy in a tuxedo walks out of the forest, and he's like, "Oh, you must be the musicians. Here, I'll show you to the place." And we're like, "Okay, cool. If we get murdered, then like no one's here to help." So he takes us. We parked the car on the side of the road. He takes us on a 5-minute trail into the forest. We come outside on the in a clearing, and it's like on a cliff face.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like, it turns out to be a beautiful location. But the thing is, they have to cart people like 5 at a time in like these fancy dresses and everything into this place. So we're there and we're like, okay, cool. We're all set up. We're all good to go. We have about 2 hours until we're supposed to start everything. We wanted to get there as early as possible just to make sure nothing went wrong. We're like, yeah, we have 2 hours. Yeah, we're just going to go get changed. Is there a place we can go? Is there a cottage you guys have? They're like, oh, there is a cottage, but you're not allowed at it because it's for wedding guests only. Like, okay, well, we're going to go to the nearest town to change from our sweaty car clothes into our black clothes. They're like, oh, yeah, of course. There's a McDonald's 20 minutes away. We're like, okay. So we go to the McDonald's, change, put on layers of deodorant. It's like, okay, let's do this. We didn't even think to do things like buy water at the McDonald's because we're like, they'll have water there. They had a bar full of vodka and like vodka-based cocktails. So like everyone's just like sipping back these cocktails because they have some form of juice and ice.
This isn't hydrating, yeah.
Man, people are drunk and they're sweaty, and it is still half an hour before the ceremony's even supposed to begin. And we're playing there because we're like, well, people are here, so we might as well play some seating music. An hour and a half later, that's when the bride and groom came in with their wedding party, because just people, like more elderly people, kept fainting because of the heat.
Yeah.
And every time we stopped to play, because there were like ants in the keyboards and everything, and we're like, oh, okay, wicked. Like I was so sweaty that like my fingers were like starting to stick to the strings now. So I'm like, okay, cool. Wow. Yep, this is worth $200 right here.
Yeah, you're thinking I didn't charge enough for this gig.
So, we get through it at the end, and we both brought our bathing suits because it was on it was right on the Georgian Bay kind of area, which is like a beautiful place. So we just like changed in the woods. We're like, we're not driving back to McDonald's. Okay, we're both ladies. Let's go. Bathing suits. Grab a bottle of wine from the store. Cool. This is our lives for the next whenever we feel like driving back. But
That's
the next 2 days we both had like these huge big headaches, and we're like, yeah, it's almost like it was plus 40 out.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good at that temperature. I'm fine. 105, no problem. But yeah, 50 degrees, forget it. Chucky said, really, Matt, I did a gig in an ice bar, an actual bar made all out of ice. And the temperature in there was -5 C.
Really?
Yeah, no. That's going to be a no from me, dog.
Oh gosh, was that why Iku? Iku?
Yeah, it's Chucky.
Oh, Chucky, was that specifically in Quebec City and or Montreal? Because if it was, I know the place.
It could have been, because he's Canadian.
Nice. Oh, that's wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andy's telling me don't play gigs in Colorado. I love Colorado. I love Colorado in the summer. I'll come to ski.
What's Colorado all about? Is it just hot?
I got to be in there. No, Colorado's super cold because of mountains. Oh. So, Colorado's fine in the summer, and I'll come there to ski, but when I'm done skiing, I'm sitting next to the fire. Where was it? In, I don't speak Quebecian. It is in Mont-Tremblant.
Mont-Tremblant.
See? Told you I didn't speak Canadian. Oh, Andy was like, your summer gig could still be snowing. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's no good.
It has. There have been blizzards in May.
Yeah, I'm out. It
Ooh,
snows like on average here in North Carolina. We get snow about once a year. Like we didn't get any
yeah.
snow. I don't think we got any snow this year.
This was a really mild winter for
But we
us. I
got
can
snow
count.
twice last year. I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was like,
I can count the like pretty heavy snowfalls we had this year on like one hand. And the year before that, we had to like dig out the car at least 15 times because it was just like the snow went up to the windows and we're like, oh, not again.
yeah, it's a big fat no from me.
Yeah.
I lived in Houston, Texas for 10 years. It's like living on the surface of the sun.
Oh, wow. Oh, geez. So,
Like December could be 70 degrees. So,
oh,
25°C, you come walking out of your house, Christmas time, you start sweating. That's what I'm
oh
looking for.
no.
Yeah. And it's going to be
Oh,
150 in the summer.
yeah. That's
And it's right on the coast, so it's super humid. Like you walk outside and you're like pushing the air out of the way.
the oh man, this is a really stupid question. Is Texas on the coast?
Yeah, it's on the
Say
Gulf
it again?
Coast. Yeah, Houston's on the Gulf of Mexico. So Houston's
That's
a big
right.
port city.
Man, yeah, there are so many. Like America's like a puzzle. I'm like, okay, wait, like North Carolina's still pretty north, right? Oh wait, it's down in the south. Why is it called North Carolina? Oh, because there's oh, okay.
That's right. Most
Wow.
Americans couldn't find Manitoba on a map.
Oh, me neither. It's fine.
Somewhere west.
Then again, Manitoba, like I went to Saskatchewan for the first Saskatoon for the first time in my whole entire life. I'd never been to the prairies before, and it was like the whole big province and then like a dot, and I was like, I
Right.
wonder what that is. Oh, that's Saskatoon. What about everything else? They're like, what, what everything else? That's
Yeah.
it.
There's a whole
Like,
lot of nothing.
yeah, because you can't go anywhere more north than that, or else it's going to be minus a billion.
Yeah. You're in permafrost and tundra.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there are polar bears in Manitoba.
Good times. Good times. See, here we got cougars. It's a whole different thing.
Yeah, whoa! I don't know what kind of cougars, but either way.
Listen, Bridget, this has been a ton of fun. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks so much
And
for having
hope
me.
you guys enjoyed watching this. And yeah, stay tuned. We're going to hopefully, not hopefully. Hopefully this little quarantine thing is going to be over soon. Narrator, it's not going to be over soon. So there will be some more of these
Spoiler
chats. We'll be hanging out hopefully with Andy at some point. I'd love to chat with Andy. I'd love to chat with Chucky. All these guys. I would love to chat with some of you guys. So DM me and we'll set it up. Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to sign off.
All right, signing off. Rock and roll.